Hello everyone, today is July 15th, 2024. Before I continue on with this new topic I want to talk about, I want to say thank you for the 10 viewers that decided to watch my other first video, which was a huge thanks because 10 is really just a goal that I'm really going for, really. I mean, I'm not really asking for more. I know for some of you who think maybe I'm just there to guilt trip you guys and say, no, 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 I really don't need more, trying to pretend that I need more views. No. The reason why I'm making this channel is because I've noticed, well, someone needs to say something. When there's chaos like this, like these times are about to happen. And this will relate to the conversation, relate to the topic I will talk about. But I just need for some people to be aware that whatever's going on right now in the world, we're not saying anything about this because we're either being silenced for it or we just decide to don't say anything because we believe in our own mindset that if we do, then, we're going to get attacked for it. Acting like the First Amendment isn't even a thing anymore. Which it is. It still is. It's just the issue is that some people just tend to forget because that's how the system works here in America. You're so focused on being politically divided that it's like you almost forgot your own Bill of Rights in the Constitution. It's pointless. But anyway, so this topic that I will get to say, I wanted to make it on the day when it happened on the 13th, was a possible Trump assassination that happened in Pennsylvania. But I did mention I will talk about a draft, so I will put that in there as well. So full warning you guys that I will be distracted when I talk about things, but don't worry. The answer's already going to be there. I just will be mumbling about something else. But anyway. So the first topic, possible Trump assassination attempt, Pennsylvania Trump rally. Okay. So it didn't take too long on the 13th for everybody to just realize that, oh my goodness, this just happened. A possible guy, I mean, we got more information on the guy we know who he is, we just don't know what his motives were. So, what happened is Trump rally was held, and it turned out that the direction that it's either was Trump was facing towards the shooter, but he didn't know the shooter was there. So the shooter was on a building. He was prone on his stomach. He was carrying an AR, possibly AR-15, and some people say 5 shots were fired. And one of them and I'll admit, it did hit Trump, but it didn't kill him. It didn't kill him. It just grazed his face and onto his ear. So possibly, the damage that Trump had was just this upper part of the ear. He didn't die. But I'll have to admit, that was a close shot. I know for some of you people who were just shocking about this news, but this has not been the first attempt that Trump was almost killed. This was not the first. That was not the first attempt. He's been, I don't know where it was held, but I guess it was during his time while he was running. I doubt this year was. That he was almost killed at that time. Now this was his second attempt. And that bullet. Yeah, that bullet missed. Well, the guy just didn't know how to line his shots, and he was just like, he must have panicked, and he had to hurry up and get the thing done over, because as the interviewers were going around telling other people what they saw, one guy saw the guy do it, and he was like yelling, "Hey, he's got a gun," and that must have triggered the guy somehow. He was like, "Oh shit!" Well, he said, "Oh well, crap! I gotta react fast." And of course, he must have been firing shots trying to get an accuracy on him. So my guess is this guy and I don't want to assume for anything. I know for someone who might think like it's the government or Democrats just trying to like get Trump off the podium and whatnot. It's neither of these things. Let's face it. It could have been a supporter of the Democrats. Or it's a young guy with violent intentions. And if you don't know what I mean by that, it means like they have a screwed up mind. They don't do anything but what they like. They're just screwed in the head, and they just want to go on and kill somebody to take their anger on. But my thing is, why would they want to try to attempt it? Because my guess is it's a supporter. It's a possible Democrat supporter, and this won't look good. Maybe he was Republican. I don't know. I don't know if maybe he was a Republican, but why would a Republican try to take down its own person that represents it? So that wouldn't make any sense. But other than that, that was a very dark day for America to actually just wonder. That almost killed. But it did kill 2 people, I've heard. One of them was shot in the head. Luckily, the guy's dead. Okay, so remember what I talked about fair justice and whatnot? Yeah, if the guy... if the guy was never killed and he was just set in cuffs, that would trigger a lot of people. I don't care if people say, oh, well, it's just jail time. He's going to die in there. Oh, sorry, my bad. Some people are, wondering why it's just not very. Well, no, never mind. No. But back to what I was saying. Remember what I talked about the justice system? Sorry, I'm messing up so many times. So remember when I talked about the guy, crap. Okay, we'll skip that topic. But other than that, if the guy was never killed and he was just set in cuffs, that would trigger a lot of people. It would. Now, I don't know if Pennsylvania has a bailout thing, which I'm pretty sure they might, but I haven't looked into it about what the court system is like in the state of Pennsylvania. But if they did have it, someone would have tried to bail him out. Acting like, oh, yeah, he tried to kill the president. Sure, that may be a felony, but, capitalism is talking, it's getting pretty hard for someone to actually get money nowadays. And whatever. Pathetic. But other than that, no, the guy died. I'm glad he died because no one, I think someone, I hate to admit this, all right? And I don't encourage somebody who, and I don't encourage for some of you to do violence, but I'm just telling you, it just sounds a lot more sense, okay? Anyone who tries to attempt an assassination on the president of the United States, a possible future United States, or anyone that's running, okay? That could potentially be the president. I know for some of you might say, like, oh, it's not so bad. I mean, he's just Trump. He isn't actually president. Well, let's face it, he's going to. I mean, he's already winning and whatnot. Any attempt on someone who is running should not be facing jail time. Should not. Well, are you suggesting that we should leave on the street? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm not going to say it because because some of you guys might think that's just kind of the route that we want to go. Like, that's just kind of what some of us want. And here's what I noticed after, the possible Trump, assassination. It only took like 2 days later, or it took a day later. Okay, so what I noticed is that some of the people who dislike Trump are now saying, okay, I now have my thoughts on, okay. Now we're having some people who are saying, well, I feel kind of bad for the guy, he almost got killed and whatnot. Oh, and as we're, if you just think about it, why are these people now apologizing and say, oh, I feel bad for him? Acting like, oh no, I want to be a Trump guy now because, he just took a bullet and, he was just like, oh yeah, I'm still alive. No, that's so stupid. That really is. People who talk smack about other people anyway and then turn around because they know what just happened. They're like, oh, you know what? I may have been mistaken. Because the truth is that you should have just never judged someone. You should have just never judged someone by its cover. That's the whole point. of when hating someone. For some of those people who, who want to apologize because, or just say, oh, blah, 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 Trump survived and I feel regret talking about bad things about him. And this includes the Democrats too. Do I think the government really cares? No. I don't think it was, well, like I said, sorry, I'm getting distracted. But let me tell you, the government had nothing to do with this assassination attempt. What I will tell you is that the government is responsible for creating a political division amongst the society. They're the ones who decide to make these two parties hate each other to begin with. When I told you before, in reality, these politicians don't really hate each other. They don't. And it just kind of proves too, because if you look back at the debate between Barack Obama and the other guy he was running against, you know how respectfully these guys were? Yeah, it just shows that, well, it's either a good sport or in reality, they don't really hate each other. They're just rich people, Why get mad at another rich person when they're just as the same as you? It doesn't make any sense when now they decide to turn, when the government decides to turn around and just say, oh, yeah, Trump was the one to call this. Oh, yeah, Biden was the one to call this, They try to twist the mind in some of you people to turn around and say, this is the reason why we're so politically divided, because, Trump. Like I said, more division talk. It's what the news told you because it's what the government said, because it's what the government wanted these people to do. But other than that, but yeah, sorry, back to what I was saying. What I've noticed after that, a day later after some of those people were saying, oh, I feel so bad for Trump for actually getting shot. I mean, that man has balls of steel. But guess what? Guess what I've also noticed? So some of the people that are, or what you want to call them, Biden supporters, but I don't really care. I don't really care who they are. I just see them as maniacs. I don't even look at them like Democrats. They're just psycho people. And what I mean by psycho people is that once they heard about the assassination attempt, they are freaking out. They are literally posting these videos onto YouTube, social media, or whatnot, and they're going around and spreading their own response about the assassination attempt. And they're saying, someone actually had the balls to fire a gun at Trump, and now he missed all those shots. Oh my God, it would have been the best day if he just got hit. You know what I think for some of those people who really just ain't want to encourage someone actually encouraging someone to just put a bullet in a, well, I'll just call him president because he was president, in the president's head, should face some serious crime right now. These are the people that are literally just saying, I wish someone would have just put a bullet in that guy. Basically saying, just kill the guy already. I wish someone just killed him. You don't just say that. You don't encourage violence like that. That's not what some of you guys should be doing. It's ridiculous. No matter what side you support. Really, I'm surprised some of these people aren't even facing any consequences from that, because that is just, wow. They are freaking out because the president didn't die. Wow. After what just happened. That's just like if 9/11 happened in 2024 and we all like to say, oh man, why didn't it hit? Oh man, yeah, I know. Sorry, it must have been I put in a bad example, but I don't know what example I want to put it as, but take some horrible event and then you get all these people to ramble about, oh, why didn't that person die? Or oh, well, why didn't it just hit this? Or why? It should have just happened that way. So pathetic. These people that are just encouraging violence, if you are some of those people, you need some serious jail time or something. You need some serious jail time. Because threatening someone to put a bullet or wishing someone could just die because you desired and because you just say, oh, it's for my needs and desire because it's what I want because I'm just angry. for anger, you should never resolve around anger just to say, I want to watch someone die. Or I wish someone could just die. You know, you don't just say that. That's an issue. Because one day, you don't know if that person's going to be you. Depending on that person who you are. Now, I might face some backlash out of this, but I'm just saying for some of those, it's not okay. It's not okay at all. But other than that, that's all I got to say for the Trump assassination attempt. It was dark days. Then after that, and then the next day, all these people are like now feeling bad, including the Democrats themselves. Like, I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why they're. I mean, it's good that they're being a team sport and whatnot, but I think it's just pathetic how they went from talking about Trump will be a dictator and he's like a fascist and whatnot, and then they're all saying, have our condolences to Donald Trump. You know? Oh, yeah, and he mentioned about political division, how things shouldn't be so politically violent. I wonder why. I wonder why we came to this war like that. Is it the only reason we could stop by doing it is we can just finally cut the BS on parties anymore? No, I'm just saying this in general. Let's just cut the BS on political parties because it just does nothing. But like I've already said, create division in this country. Let's face it, it does. And whatnot. But other than that, that's it for this time. And now the next time, a possible draft that I will get at. But I will forewarn you that I don't really do second topics after the first one I talk about. But it's just something I want to add on because I did mention about the first one. I will talk about it. Of course, there will be other things down the road. If anything catches my mind, I would want to make a video about it. But other than that, yeah, I will. So on to the topic of a possible military draft. I know this topic's old and it's outdated, and I know for some of you might think, oh, yeah, okay, I think we know what you're about to say. It's not a military draft, it's just a selective service thing. It's mandatory, it's always been mandatory, and let's face it, I was aware of that, right? So why are these people, so let's face it, at the time, why was everyone so desperate for a possible selective service? Because my father knows, because he wasn't just in the military and serving a battlefield, who's part of the intelligence group. And he knows how a draft works. You know? And possibly this will become a draft. It's going to be approved of the draft. So anyone that actually signed up the selective service, and for some of those who didn't, some of those who already signed it are going to be the ones being written for a draft. And let me tell you, a draft is inevitable. It's going to happen. Okay? For some of you people who won't believe it, but it's true. A draft is inevitable. Are we going to war? I doubt we're going to war. Maybe we are, maybe during Trump's time in office. But is there going to be a draft? Well, there's going to be a need of a draft because have you not seen the numbers of the military recruitment in 2024? It is very, very low. I've heard from like one expert. I don't know his name, but he says that our numbers are so low that it's in a need of a military draft. Now, are we going to be drafted because of a war? And like I said, it's not because of a war, or it might be because of a war. No. What I think is, you're just going to be there to fill in the numbers. That's why you're getting drafted. That's why. Wait. So if it's not a war reason, but we're being automatically drafted to be sent to the military just to fill in those numbers? Yes. That's all it is. You're being filled in. You're just filling in those numbers, nothing more. You're not going to war. You're just filling in those numbers. All those people that did register for selective service, and I like to say this myself, I did too. But I was tricked. I'm not, and I will say this in my own opinion, and I know some of you military veterans who want to drive this. Look, at the moment, I don't have a car of my own because I'm waiting 60 days for my license to get here. But in the meantime, I'm studying for the driver's exam, and I have a plan, because what I don't want to do on the side, I'm not just going to make videos because I'm telling for some of these people to realize that the world you live in and the people you support may not actually care about you, or you just don't see any right in it. You see right or wrong in it. It's just because I actually have a plan on what I want to do in life. That is. I know for some of those military people who are going to watch this video and, put it as a reaction, it was like, well, we have, like, tons of, like, options for you here. Dude, look, I get it. I'm 21 years old. But I was tricked because my own mother says it was a mandatory thing. And when I hear about a draft, I say it's possible, it's inevitable, and I'm just there to be filling in the numbers. I've said that myself. We're just going to be there to fill in the numbers. I predicted that. And that's what, and our father confirmed that. Yeah, we're just there to fill in the numbers. That is it. But other than that, I'm not going to war. I'm not joining the military either way. For some of those people who have no reason, talking about, oh, I get social anxiety, and they may not necessarily have the jobs that I want. Well, what would you want to work for? Like, if you want to be anyone, if you don't have anyone else, you're better off being an infantry or a National Guard. But those people, I'm telling you, just need to be drafted. If you don't have a plan in your life and you just want to sit around and be lazy. And I hate when I had to become already, and trust me, I'm not lazy. Sure, I may not have a job, but I want to get a job. I do. But I don't have a car to do that. So in the meantime, I'm just studying for the driver's exam. I'm looking into the colleges I want to get into. Become a filmmaker, because I want to write my own stories and make my own movies. Is that something the military has? No, they don't have those. I don't care if and my dad even said, oh, well, he knew a guy, but he didn't have to go to any classes in the military. He just go to college and just go for a film school from there. What? I'm not doing that. I might as well just, like, it just doesn't make any sense, really. I feel like for some of those people that actually do have a life, let's just say a filmmaker or a police officer, whatever you want to be, it's just so disappointing that you know the life that you want to live and you have it all planned out, but then all it takes is the government to say, sorry, you don't have a life. They decide that life for you, and your life is fill in those numbers in the military. It's so pathetic. I'm not joining the military. I don't care if some people might say, well, it's a felony for you. I've read it. I've read, like, even the history of drafts. Yes, it still would be a felony to, like, actually skip on the draft. But you have, like, billions of other people to do that. Why does it have to be me? Why would one person make a difference? It won't. All you're gonna get is resistance. Like, you're gonna get, like, civil arrest. It's just... Look, I'm just saying this. For some of these people who do want to join the draft, do the draft. Okay, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're a Republican or a Democrat, it doesn't matter. Like I said, support whoever you want to support. But for people like me, I actually have a life. I do. It's just, why? Like, why all of a sudden we gotta, like, bring back a draft and then we gotta hire in all the young people, because why the hell not? Look, I thought the military was cool at one point until my father realized that the military is not what it is. My father was the one who got me into that. Who, like, made me realize that it's not the country, it's not what you think it is in Hollywood. Hollywood just kind of promotes that. So does the Army too, but once you go in, it's not like how you think it is. I'm pretty sure a veteran can tell you that themselves when they had to go into war at one point. Yeah, it's not all fun games once you go into basic training and go into combat. It's not how you think it is. But like I said, I'm not joining a draft. You might see me in prison behind bars, but trust me, I won't pose a threat to anyone, even if I do run away. They're going to think of it. Like, you're going to see my face in New Hampshire news. I know for some of you might find out who I am anyway. But I'll be in the face of the news. And some of you guys are going to be like, hey, that's the guy, the guy who makes the videos and whatnot. But if the cops do catch up to me, you know what the news are going to just say here in New Hampshire? They're going to say, oh yeah, evicted felon boy evaded the draft and, blah, 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 all this stuff, very bad person. Try to put it on me like I'm a bad person. I didn't resist. I would never resist. I would never fight back. But there's going to be a point where some of these people who are going to hurt you then, then you would hurt them. Like those people who just want to hurt you, you have to defend yourself. And you know what? That's the whole point of society. They're going to make you think that anything that you do to defend yourself, it's a serious crime. How do you think half the time that when shooting at a person, there's a possible chance that you might get in trouble for shooting a guy who wants to harm you? It's a possible thing in different states, because in reality, their security sucks. They can't just hire more people, but, oh, no, we're doing it. But, no, we just got to play harsh for some reason, because that's a good way to doing it. And we'll just wrongfully accuse that person for killing a good guy. If that guy ever was wanting to hurt you. It doesn't really matter. It all depends on that state. And it's pathetic because they're trying to change that way with gun laws now. And I will talk about that another time. But other than that, thank you for listening. For some of those people who are just as the same as me. And thank you for those 10 viewers that decided to stop by and was in this. But for some of you, and I will say this, if you ever feel like you do have a life and you just don't like how the military, you don't even care if we even get the right president in office. You go like, oh yeah, let me just give it my own life just so I can fight this guy. No, you actually have a life. Most of us do. We just prefer not to. Some of us just prefer that because the motive is that the government makes you think that the president is going to take care of you. The government will take care of you. So there's really no need to think about possible futures, think of your own investment plans, think of your own things. No, the government can cover that for you. Right? So your life can be so much easier. In reality, it doesn't. Because when you get stuff like inflation, or the house marketing, or the food that you buy at grocery stores all go up, you just look at the government and go like, hey, well, this is the president's fault for causing like this. Acting like the president, that president, that is quote unquote doing all this, gets blamed for, because like I said, it's the whole motive. When you're in office and you're easily controlled, you're given immunity, like secret immunity, acting like if anything were to go wrong, you won't be in trial for it. You won't during your time of presidency. No president has. None. Not even the early 2000s, not even the beginning of 2000s. None of those presidents had to face. We all know what they did was wrong. At the end, they walk off rich with your money and all money and the tax dollars you spent onto these people because they demand more. But other than that, thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay smart. Just be aware of what's right and what's wrong. Just realize that you are not alone in this world. You get some people like me that have the same motive as you do, depending on the person that's watching this. But other than that, thank you for listening.